Shalom, Lord in Christ Israel. This is ISUPK Wednesday law class. Priest and Officer Yalad. We go get into it straight ahead. Salaki on my tardiness. You know what I'm saying? No excuses. I had something come up, but no excuses. We here. We're gonna go a little bit over. Appreciate y'all that's tuning in. Y'all try to take these notes, get these precepts down. You understand what I'm saying? This law class is what teaches you how to live. Now we're gonna get straight into it. We pull my precept. Let me get Psalms 119 and 97. We're gonna talk a little bit about the law, how it's a light unto your life. You understand what I'm saying? Why you need the law, why it's necessary to not only learn about the law, but to keep the law. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think it go without saying, to know something and not apply it to your life is very foolish behavior, right? You want to avoid that at all costs. You always want to apply things. You understand what I'm saying? Like, when you learn a theory about something, you want to apply that theory. You understand what I'm saying? So that it translates into something that you can actually work with, something that's tangible. The great thing about being in the truth, the ISUPK, we don't go based on theory. We go based on concrete evidence and hard facts. Go ahead, shut her up.
And you know what? That's why it's practical knowledge.
Practical knowledge
in your life.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's things that you can be used. Like, when you dealing with the Bible, you understand what I'm saying? And these things that you read here, right there, don't get me wrong, there are some miracles that happen. There are some miraculous supernatural things that did happen. But you want to be practical, right? You want to take the mysticism and the spookism out of what the Bible is telling you. You know what I'm saying? There's times where to tell you Christ vanished, and in that, maybe he did. You know what I'm saying? But then there's also times where it tell you, like, brothers woke up. It's a precept in here where it say, you know what I'm saying? Brothers turned around and Christ had vanished. Just like they chilled all night. You know what I'm saying? Brothers went to sleep. Christ ain't go to sleep. When everybody went to sleep, Christ woke out. You know what I'm saying? They woke up like, where's the man? You know what I'm saying? And that takes, that's practical. We all been there. You know what I'm saying? It's like we all did our thing and woke up and been like, dang, that Negro gone already. You know what I'm saying? Like, he already got up out of there. Like, all I remember was Big Chillin'. He already gone. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
you wanna just be practical. You always want to be logical. You know what I'm saying? You don't never want to get caught up in the theatrics of anything. You understand what I'm saying? Always see what's in front of you and move like that. That's why you got the law, so that you can be discerning and see what's in front of you and act accordingly. Go ahead, yes.
Right. What verse you got?
The first one is going to be Psalms 119 through 97. I'm sorry, Psalms 119 and 97.
Psalms 119 and verse 97. Man, oh, how love I thy law. It is my meditation all the day.
So listen, right here, and who wrote this? Who wrote Psalms? Go ahead, Sawab.
David.
King David wrote Psalms. You understand what I'm saying? It's a lot of I love this book, man, because it's a lot of praying. It's a lot of seeking forgiveness. It's a lot of glorifying. You understand what I'm saying? The Lord, all of that's going on in Psalms. There's parts where David is asking for forgiveness. It's parts where David is professing the law. It's parts where David, you know what I'm saying, is crying out to the Most High for forgiveness for some of the things that he did and let transpire in his life. So, you know, and the Lord loved David. You know what I'm saying? He called him a man after his own heart. The Lord loved David with a passion because David kept the law. That's what David did. David rode around the countryside exacting the law. And then when he became king, he ruled his kingdom according to the law. And when he made a mistake, when he sinned, when he trespassed or transgressed against God, that brother was dreadfully sorry, never did those things again, and actually rejoiced in the fact that the Lord was judging him harshly, because he knew that once that judgment was over, he would be clean again. You understand what I'm saying? His shame would be off of him because the Lord had dealt with him righteously. You understand what I'm saying? You ever heard the term, the punishment fit the crime? That's how David got judged. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, the man that lost children, lot happened to David, but David never fell out of the truth. No matter what happened to David, no matter how his shame might have been on him, you understand what I'm saying? That brother was strong because he never fell on his sword. He never gave up. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how the Most High want all of Israel to be brothers and sisters. That's how the Lord wants us to conduct ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? That's one of your great kings, as is Solomon, and most importantly, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who was your king and was perfect.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So let me get that precept. Psalms 119, 97. I think he was on 98, right? Oh no, start back in 97. Salaki. That's my fault.
Psalms 119 and verse 97. Oh, how love I thy law. It is my meditation all the day.
So David said, it is my meditation all the day. When you meditate, don't be a weirdo and go on YouTube looking for meditations and getting into yoga and chakras and chantras and whatever that nonsense is. Don't do that. You're not supposed to clear your mind and void your mind. When you meditate, it means you focused on one thing. And what David is saying right here is he meditate on the law. That's what keep him going the direction of that straight gate. You understand what I'm saying? He just meditates on the law all the day long because that's what keep his mind focused on his responsibilities and what he needs to be doing as a leader and also as a servant of the Most High. Keep reading.
Verse 98. Though through thy commandments has made me wiser than mine enemies, for they are ever with me.
So see, when you follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, it makes you wiser than your enemies. The reason why the law was given to Israel was to make us better than every other nation on the face of the earth. It's another precept that says, which one is this, Shadrach? The one where it's saying, like they'll look at us like, oh, these wise people. You know which one I'm talking about?
That's the one where it speaks. It says, the Lord will be thy wisdom in the eyes of the nation.
Con. And they'll look at us like, oh, surely these are wise people. You understand what I'm saying? Because the way we move, the way we act, the way we talk, the rest of the world will know that we're better than them. You understand what I'm saying? They will be able to look at their culture, look at their civilization, and then they'll be able to look at us, and then they'll say, yes, we should serve them because they're better than us. You understand what I'm saying? And that's righteous. That's in the Bible, and that's what the Lord intended for you. That's why he gave you something that came directly from him. Like, what is it, Psalms, 119 and 24? Salaki. But the one where it's saying, for he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and commandments unto Israel. I'm paraphrasing, but go ahead.
It's 119:20, 19 through 20.
Come.
Right, 19 through 20.
Let me see, do we got that one?
Yes, sir.
I think we should go over that one just to show who the Lord even gave his law to.
Psalms 120.
No, it's not 119 and 20.
Not 119. So not 119. Psalm 147.
19 and 20, right?
Or 20, 19 through 20.
Go ahead. You got that one, Shadrach?
God.
Go ahead, read that.
Psalms 119. Psalms 147, verse 19.
I don't know an Israelite in the truth that don't know this one. Go ahead.
He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
So he gave his law to blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You understand what I'm saying? And what it say after that?
Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation.
He hasn't done what?
Not dealt so with any nation.
He didn't give these promises, these laws, these judgments, these statutes. He didn't give it to the Moabites. He didn't give it to the Ammonites. He didn't give it to the Alakamites. He didn't give it to the Elamites. He only gave this to Israel. He was not concerned with African affairs when he wrote this law. They can live in their filth and live the way that they live. He gave this law, statute, and commandment unto Israel to be a light unto your feet. You understand what I'm saying? To guide you. The light is, Salakia. The law is a light for black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian people. You walking through darkness every day in this captivity. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing outside this truth that has any type of thing beneficial for blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And it's proven not only through these scriptures, but it's in your damn face. Ain't nothing out here for you but Planned Parenthood. You understand what I'm saying? Alcoholism, drug abuse, prostitution, fornication, pedophilia. That's what's outside of this truth. This is a sanctuary for black, Hispanics, and Native American Indian people.
That's
away from the world and your enemies that want to destroy you. You understand what I'm saying? That's why the scripture tell you, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. The Most High gotta reject you. He gotta do it. He gotta do it. You want to know why? Because it's somebody who's not gonna reject that knowledge, who's not gonna reject that wisdom, and that's who He wants to be in His service. You understand what I'm saying? The person who can have a discerning, wise mind and say, I don't want to be destroyed. I don't want to die of an STD. I don't want to die from cancer. I don't want my legs and stuff chopped off from diabetes and all other sicknesses. I don't want those things to happen. I'm going to live according to the law of the Most High. I want mercy. I want sanctuary. I want shelter. I want mercy. You understand what I'm saying? That's the type of people that the Most High want in this service. Go ahead and shout it out.
And you know what? It's so true, because we're separated from these nations. These nations got the United Nations, the UN building.
Right.
And I know this from life experience. I was at the UN building delivering a package. What I noticed is that all the nations of the earth is represented there. It's called One Dag Hammarskjöld Plaza in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan. And I knew, because the buildings, the streets even sunk down and went widespread to put that whole United Nations building up there.
That's the one with the little circular thing and all the flags out in front of it?
Everybody. But guess who they don't got? So-called African American.
Right.
It got African,
right,
but it don't have African American. And when I walked in there, they had their garments on, and they wouldn't even look at me. They wouldn't even acknowledge me that I'm their brother. You know, here a black man coming to deliver a package. You got the United Nations supposed to represent black people in America, yet they got their garments on that don't look nothing like what we wear, what we wear in the hood. And they're not even trying to come across to us, but they don't even say nothing to me or acknowledge me. I was only about, at the time, I was probably about 17 years old.
Right. And you know why that is?
And I noticed that.
And you know why that is? That's because those other nations realize that you are the property and the captives of those that they're in bed with.
Right.
They understand that, right? Like, they may classify, well, first off, you a second, third class citizen, but they may classify you like, no, you're an American, you're one of us. No, you're the property of them. You're a slave.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? You're the ones that they went and bought from the Hamites. That's who you are.
Right.
You're a business transaction. You understand what I'm saying? Cattle, cannon fodder, however you want to look at it. That's what you are to them. That's not what you are to the Most High, though. Yeah, to the Most High, you were chosen people unto Him. You understand what I'm saying? To the Most High, you precious. You understand what I'm saying? And see, the thing is like, think about when you try to understand how the Lord looks at us, right? It's a very simple thing, but for some it's not. But this is how you should look at it, because we go back to that thing being practical, right? Think about when you really love something, like one of your children, right? And they offend you. You get sorely angry with them. Even though you have mercy, they make you upset. Your loved one, your woman, your husband, whoever. They can get you high. You understand what I'm saying? They can get under your skin, right? Now think about when somebody do something out of pocket and you really don't give a damn about them. You're a little bit slower to move against them. Like this. My child does something, I'm on my child. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody else's child do something, I don't go running up behind somebody else. Even though I know that child that did some foul stuff, I don't go running up behind that child. I might pull that princess out like, hey, this little dude's stealing, man. You might want to before he embarrass you. But I might not even do that. That's gonna be a lesson between them and their child for them to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm on my child. You understand what I'm saying? As best I can be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the Most High, not really like they gonna pay for their crimes. You understand what I'm saying? Vengeance is the Lord's. That's why I'm telling you now, Black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian people, it's a lot of social injustice going on in the country right now. But guess what? It's been a lot of social injustice going on in this hell for the last 400 plus years.
That's right.
This shit ain't never changed. Salakia.
Right.
And guess what? It ain't gonna change until we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the Most High send Yahweh Shai Mashiach back into the earth. That's when it's going to change. That's when it's going to change. But it ain't going to change for black people until them. Now, what you can do as a servant of Christ, what you can do is you can follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, and they'll be what? A light unto your feet. Meaning your steps will have purpose. And you won't falter. You won't stumble. So your life will be a little bit easier than if you just living lawless, because that's death. You're going to walk in the dark till you fall off the side of the cliff and die. That's what's going to happen to you. You understand what I'm saying? But when you got this light on you, when you got this law in your life, then you're going to walk circumspect. You're going to see and keep your eye on the prize, and you're going to be able to avoid certain obstacles because you've learned how to do so. And the only way you can do that is getting into this truth, man, is learning from these priests and prophets in the ISUPK. And I can speak to that because, yeah, man, we all grew up in the Christian church, right? And how far did that get you in life? Yeah. Where did that get you? Were you really fearful of the Lord? No. No. Because Monday, when you got off work and that devil of a boss that was on your ass stressed you out so much, what'd you do? You smoked some weed, right? You let your woman cook your pork chops because that's comfort food. You want to feel better because your life is hell. You understand what I'm saying? So you wasn't really fearing the Lord because you didn't know how to fear and love the Lord. The fear and the love of the Lord is to keep his commandments, to keep these laws, man,
That's
to
right.
keep these
That's
precepts.
right.
That's the love of the Most High, man. You understand what I'm saying? And you're not going to learn that in no Islamic mosque. You're not going to learn that in the Christian church. You for damn sure ain't going to learn that in the Catholic church. You're going to send your son to the Catholic church. He's going to end up getting molested, and then he's going to turn into a pedophile. You got to stay out of these false houses of God, man, because the Bible refers to them as a synagogue of Satan.
That's right.
The ones who stole your identity. You understand what I'm saying? The ones that tried to steal your laws and build something fake so that they could gain money and power from them and then destroy people as a result. Go ahead, shout it out.
That sounds like filthy lucre to me.
Right.
You know, filthy lucre is money.
Right.
It sounds like filthy money to me.
Right.
But what I was saying, what I was going to say about the Africans and so-called Negroes, they got a movie called what is it? Sugar Hill with Wesley Snipes.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That movie Sugar Hill. Although they were drug dealers, they were trying to get with the Africans who was making more money than they was. Right. They living up in Harlem. You know, they watched their dad get shot, and dad was strung out on dope. Right. Watched him get shot and killed by the mafia, the Italian mafia, the Edomites.
Right.
And they tried to expand their business, you know, and they go try to go in with the Africans, figuring, okay, yeah, we black, you black, and blah, blah, blah. The Africans told them right at the dinner table, we cannot do business with you. We don't think that it is right. And they were like, why? Wesley Snipes was asking them in the movie, why? He said, we don't do business with copper. He said, copper? He said, what's copper? And Wesley Snipes was like, and his brother was like, what's copper? What are y'all calling us copper? He said, cotton picker. Straight up calling us cotton picker. Right. That's how you know that you're not African. That's right. They said it in the Hollywood theaters. Right. You were called copper. You was called a cotton picker. You understand? So that, you know, we can't join that nation because they sold us into slavery if you really look at the history. Right. And I'm gonna be honest with you. That's very wise of them. That's very wise of them. You don't want to let in the same people that you know you done dirty. They'll get you back for it. Right.
They don't want to let them in. You know what I'm saying? That's very wise. But the problem is this: they have that understanding. We don't.
That's right.
That's where the problem therein lies, is that they understand these things. But see, it's the gift and the curse with Israel, man. Like, we are a special people, man. That's why we are the most understanding, patient, loving, forgiving people on the face of the planet. It's black people. Because them the only ones that you can beat like dogs and they still come and serve at your feet. Black people. Ain't nobody else putting up with that. You understand what I'm saying? When the Japanese did it to the Chinese, they waged full-blown war. When Americans do it to Arabs, they wage full-blown war. Hell, when white people do it to white people, they wage war. What you think the Russia-American conflicts be about? You understand what I'm saying? What you think about when they have in civil wars in where's that at? Somewhere in Russia, where it's like Kazakhstan or Kazakhstan and Russia, and it's like you got the Kurds, and then you got the rebel forces and the is that who that is? Is them the Kurds? I don't know, but I know that it doesn't matter. Like, if Arabs got problems with Russians, it's war. If Americans got problems with Russians, they wage a war. Even if it's the Cold War, they was doing a lot of stuff. A lot of espionage, lot of third party aggressions, meaning like this country pay this country to do something to this country because they can't do it directly for political reasons. All of that garbage. They wage war. It happened to us, but we want to love every goddamn body. Go ahead.
And Jews still, the so-called fake Jews still won't buy a German car.
And Salakia. They'll drive around in a Lexus. They'll drive around in a Toyota. You're not gonna see one of them hook-nosed bastards in no BMW or Mercedes-Benz or Audi. They're not gonna drive that. That's for Chinese and ignorant Negroes that want to live above their means. And ain't nothing wrong with driving what you want to drive if you can afford it. That ain't that. But what the brother was bringing out is so heavy because these bastards know how to hold on to a grudge. They lost what they lose shot around like maybe 6 million people. Yeah. Am I being? I don't want to make life, but realistically, what they lose like 6 million people or something like that.
It might have been 6 to 8 million people, but it only lasted for 4 years.
And it only lasted for 4 years. So Hitler was real good at his job. Obviously, I'm gonna say it straight out. Hitler was obviously very good at his job because he accomplished a lot in a little bit of time. Right? Yeah. But we lost 77 million Native American Indian brothers just during the Trail of Tears. We lost 99 plus million African Americans during the transatlantic slave trade, during their finding of the New World. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we've lost hundreds of millions of people over the course of the last 400 years. Their oppression ended in 4 years, and a white man by the name of Rothschild saved them from what they was going through. You understand what I'm saying? That's why they call Rockefeller the godfather of modern Israel. Because he is the one who took them people out of Europe and put them over there. Yeah. And helped them with major money that he had established and stole globally over centuries. His entire family, with the other banking families like J.P. Morgan Chase and those type people. You understand what I'm saying? They are the ones that put those people over there. They're the ones that helped them infiltrate your land. You understand what I'm saying? Because they had interest in that. Go ahead, shut it up.
They actually did it with the banks.
Right.
They started with selling rare coins to the kings of Britain and France, I believe. And they were selling rare coins to them. They were Rothschild. Right. Rothschild means red. Roth is red.
Right.
Child means shield. Red shield.
Right.
They were using our shield. Because we wear the Dawadama gun.
Right.
Which is the shield of David.
Right.
They were using this shield. And they changed their names to Rothschild. And Rothschild was doing the banks. And so they started selling red coins to the king of Britain, the kings of England. And they were doing that. And once they got a certain amount of money, they invested in banks. And once they got the banks, they started doing usury, which is against what, if you say that you're an Israelite,
Right.
it's against it. So, okay, like, let's just humor them for a minute. You're white and you're a white Jew, a real white Jew.
Yeah.
You're a real chosen of
You
God.
still Edomite,
But you
though.
you're an Edomite, but you still using usury. You're using the Bible, and the Bible says to your brother, you are never to use usury, which means interest.
Right.
And even America is based on interest.
Right.
So you borrow $100, that means you got to pay $240 at the end of the year.
Keep in mind, how you gonna be a nation under God, right? Meaning that you following laws. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. Because these bastards don't understand the law. That's another thing, though. You understand what I'm saying? They got in God we trust on the money, but you're charging everybody enormous interest rates on the things that they buy and that they get put in debt for. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I don't mean it. But
Go ahead.
all my point is that usury is not what a Hebrew Israelite or all man of the Lord is ever supposed to charge against his brother.
Right. And what the
So these were devils charging other devils
Right.
usury.
Right. So and what that and that's another good thing to bring out, because you know that, like, if your brother asks you for $20, right, when he come back, like, you can't tell him, yeah, like, I'll shoot you this dub, but I need like 25 when you come back to me. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can do it to an Edomite, but you cannot do it to your brother. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you are the same bloodline, the same nation. You cannot do that.
That's
You understand
right.
what I'm saying? If you let a brother use that, only expect him to pay back what he's owed. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I bought things from brothers in the school. Brother tell me, like, it's $18. I just shoot the dub. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's not a big thing. I'm keeping this money in Israel, so it's not. It's a light matter for me. That's an easy thing for me to do. It don't give me no acclaim. It don't make me an excellent brother, make me special. But that's just how I operate. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have no problem over tipping a brother or anything like that. Not even tipping, but just paying a little bit more, because the value of this brother being so brotherly and doing this thing for me is more than just what he charged me for. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it means to me sometimes. So I want to keep going with this precept. I'm going to go too far away from it. But let me get back to 119. I think we're on like
47 and verse 20.
Oh yeah, keep reading that.
Psalms 147 and verse 20. He have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgment, they have not known them.
They haven't known the judgment. Why haven't they known the judgment? Go ahead.
Because the laws wasn't given to them, it was given to Moses.
Come. You understand what I'm saying? The laws wasn't given to them. It was given to Jacob, and it was given unto Israel. You understand what I'm saying? The law was given to Moses, right? That's the brother that, took brothers and sisters out of a captivity that they low-key wanted to stay in because they felt like they had it better than wandering in the desert, which is a foolish thing. You understand what I'm saying? But eventually, the ones that wasn't going to make it didn't make it, and the other ones saw the error of the way we was living, and then they would come into the promised land eventually. You understand what I'm saying? But that only happened because eventually they got broken down and they followed these laws, statutes, and commandments. Pick up for me on Psalms 119 and start at 98 again, just for context. Once again, we breaking down and explaining why the law is a light, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a light unto your feet. It guides you. It directs you. You understand what I'm saying? It illuminates your path so that you stay steady. You understand what I'm saying? You got it? Go ahead, read.
The book of Psalms 119, the 98th verse. Though through thy commandments hast made me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me. Verse 99. I have more understanding than all my teachers.
I have what?
More understanding than all my teachers.
Why? Why is David saying that he has more understanding than all his teachers? Why is David saying that? Go ahead. Because he walks in the light all the time, right? Because David has the law, right? Because David is in the truth. That's why he has more understanding than all of his teachers. Because David understands. He's in the truth. He followed law, statutes, and commandments. So he's above the law of the land because he executes law, statutes, and commandments. The law of God is above man's law. How do we know this?
That's right.
How do we know this? How can we prove this? Because the scripture says a wicked man diggeth up evil. In his mouth is a fire, right? That's what the scripture tell you, correct? But what does Esau tell you can do in this kingdom? You can smoke cigarettes. You can smoke weed, right? You can do those types of things. You can have as many women as you want. You can have as many men as you want. You can be with men. Women can be with women. You can have sex with who you want. You can be with as many people as you want at the same time. All of that. It doesn't matter how many ribs a brother in the truth got. He cannot lay down with all of them ribs at the same time. That does not work like that. You understand what I'm saying? That's unlawful sex. That's fornication. Right? You are not supposed to, a man is not supposed to lay down with another man, and a woman is not supposed to lay down with another woman. You understand what I'm saying? And even in that, it's not supposed to be two brothers in the room with one woman. It ain't supposed to be a brother in the room with two women. That's not supposed to happen. That's fornication. That's unlawful. And if you conduct yourself in them things, you shouldn't be surprised why you have certain pitfalls in your life, like gonorrhea or HIV, or even worse, right? Some woman, you didn't brought another woman into your marriage bed at the same time with another woman, and now one of them then snapped because she's like, oh my God, she's watching what you're doing with this other woman, and then she snapped and killed both of y'all. That's a judgment. That's a cold judgment. That happens though. That happens. Hell, they might start feeling each other a little bit too much and knock your ass off. That's real life though.
That's right.
That's a judgment though. That's a judgment for breaking the laws of the Lord. Don't worry about what Esau is doing. If Esau want to live like that, let him live like that.
That's right. Right.
I want him to live like that.
Right.
I want him to be in his element and live that way. I want him to do all of the things that he does.
That's right.
I just don't want my people to follow after him.
That's right. Right.
I want my people to realize that they are holy and separate unto the Lord, and that they are not like anybody else, and they should not confuse themselves with any other nation, and that they should separate. That's what I want. But let the other nation, like, hey man, if what do the Elamites do with the weird gods they got? Hey man, listen, if they want to worship a tiger head with like 6 arms and 10 feet, hey, be my guest, do that. Do that.
Right.
If Asian people want to hey, this is the silliest thing, man. I don't know if y'all knew this, but when they put that food in front of them little Buddha, you ever seen that? We done all had some Asian people we done ran into. I know me and my Red, when we grew up, you know what I'm saying, there was a lot of Asian people out there. Some of their porches, they would put like the little Buddha thing in the front of, they put it in front of their businesses and all of that, right? Put the fruit and the incense and the food, and then these idiots say that because the incense evaporated, like because the incense burned down to the stick, right? That Buddha accepted that. Because the food spoiled on the little thing, Buddha ate that food. He accepted that. That's why the food spoiled, because he ate it. Well, I tell you right now, I can let some grapes sit on my microwave in room temperature, and that shit gonna spoil too. Salakia. That's foolishness. They're foolish people.
That's right.
And why are they foolish? Because the Lord is not with them. That's my whole point in going through all that. They don't have the law. You are a wiser, superior people. That's what the Lord intended for you to be. Understand what I'm saying? Because you so compassionate and merciful, and just like your Creator, He knows that when you are righteous, when you follow His laws, statutes, and commandments, when you are in your full might and glory, that you won't rape children. You won't rape your slaves the way that they rape their slaves.
Right.
You'll work them hard, but you won't rape them. They'll be better off under you than you were ever under them. In the kingdom, we won't be raping slaves.
Right.
But they will work. And their children will work. And hell, their animals will work. I'm gonna put a bag on their dog to help them pick the cotton. Like you gonna work. You gotta work.
That's right.
My animal is about to be at my ribs' feet getting fed morsels though. You feel me? That's how I'm conducting my business. They're gonna work.
That's right.
What they did to us, they deserve to have that happen to them, but it's going to be done lawfully. It's going to be according to the law. And then the whole world is going to follow the law of Israel, not what they want to do.
Right.
They're not going to smoke weed because they feel like they can do that and life is so hard. Hell, life is hard. You deserve a harsh life.
That's right.
You deserve to be in hell the same way Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans been in hell for over 400 years in just this captivity, and then thousands of years in other captivities before this one.
Right.
You deserve that. You deserve that because you did it to us.
That's right.
And all we ever did was let you in and love you and teach you how to fish and teach you how to hunt and forgive you and teach you how to irrigate land and build your houses and build your railroad. You understand what I'm saying? Negroes built the railroad for damn near free as slaves. Moab got a wage for what he built, and he didn't build that much of it.
Right.
John Henry, right? Is that his name?
Right. Yeah.
That brother is a legend in that area. You understand what I'm saying? That brother could beat machines for a time. They couldn't have anybody beat him, so they built the machine. I believe, I don't want to get into no myth, but I believe like he was so nice at his job, he was so nice at his slavery that they had to innovate ways to make it even faster than that because they couldn't. This man just appeared to do glorious. He became legendary off slaving. That's my point. That's how excellent that brother was. He became a legend off of slaving, not hooping, not playing a basketball game, but off slaving, hard work, in the sun, 110 degrees, laying spikes into wood in solid ground. That's how epic that brother was. Go ahead.
And you know what's crazy too? And I was just talking about that. That's my trade. I'm a cement finisher by trade.
Right.
Cement finishers got to know how to make forms, and we use sledgehammers all the time to make them forms.
Right.
We hit with 2 hits, 2 blows. When I was at Knott's Berry Farms, I won a trophy from hitting the sledgehammer for the strongman competition.
Right.
Because I know actually I learned it through the trade, but it's a technique that you hit that thing, you know, with the body. It ain't about power, it's about technique.
Right.
And you hit it all the way up there. John Henry did that.
Repetitiously,
John Henry,
right?
it's the way that he did it, and also he was repetitious, so he had to be built. That man had to be physically built also to do that with the skill that I learned as a cement mason.
Right. And how that brother brought that out. Can you imagine? Like I said, man, can you imagine doing that all day, more than 8 hours, laying miles of railroad each side, and then you doing it, and brothers can't even keep up with you. So you like way ahead, and this brother's behind on the other side that ain't even finished their side of the track yet. Maybe you got to switch over and help them because y'all got to lay it evenly. I mean, I can't even imagine. Go ahead.
Salaki, just real quick, he probably had a rhythm to it because he was a Judite, right?
Oh, definitely had a rhythm to it. He definitely had a rhythm to it.
But that's how Salaki, that's how I use mine. It's a rhythm. It's a technique that you got to use. You got to know how to use a sledgehammer.
Right.
You really have to know how. If you just an amateur trying to hit some stuff, you're gonna miss.
Right.
You got to know how to hit it dead on center. It's a skill to that. I know it
Right.
But a lot of brothers don't know it because
I-
they never trained in
I
that
tell you,
field.
I tell you straight out, I might do it once or twice. I'm not doing it for no miles. I have a skill set. I know my skill set. You understand what I'm saying? That's not it. That brother was excellent at what he did. You understand what I'm saying? So keep going. Let me get keep going 99. How it says I have more understanding than all my teachers. We now know why David had more understanding than all of his teachers, right? Because he was taught in the law. And he executed the law. He applied the law. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't theory for David. He applied it to all aspects of his life. That made him wiser and more understanding than all of his teachers. Keep reading.
I have more understanding than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are my meditation. Verse 100. I understand more than the ancient.
I understand more than the old people. You understand what I'm saying? I understand more than the generation that came before me. You understand what I'm saying? I understand more than all the brothers that got here before me. And there's another precept on that. How it says the latter house shall be greater, right? That's how it's supposed to be. Like the brothers, like every brother that come after me, trooper up to whatever rank them brothers the Lord see fit. I want them brothers to be better than me. I want them brothers to be more learned than me, more polished and more sharpened than me, because that's how you build a nation. That's how you ensure every parent, right, wants and expects for their child to be greater, have a greater level of accomplishment than they did. And as a child, you should strive to accomplish more than what your parents did. So for me, my personal hope is that my sons greatly exceed whatever work I've done, whatever thing that I've been able to do is only for the Lord. But I would hope that not for their own glory's sake, but for that the glory of the Most High, that anything that they do in this truth should supersede anything that I've done.
That's right.
What my works should pale in comparison to what my sons will do. That's the hopes that I have for my sons. You know what I'm saying? And for my daughters. Go ahead, shout it out.
Precept you wanted was Haggai chapter 2 and verse 9.
Go ahead, read it. Read it out.
The glory of this latter house shall be greater than of the former, saith the Lord of hosts. And in this place will I give peace, saith the Lord of hosts.
And that's twofold, because we know that that applies to the ISUPK from when it got founded to now. You understand what I'm saying? But that also applies to your legacy, your lineage. You can apply it to that as well. You understand what I'm saying? That the things that come, like the men under me, that come after me, should be greater than me. And then my household as well. You understand what I'm saying? The ones that come into the truth, after I've come into the truth, which are my sons, my daughters, you understand what I'm saying? They'll be greater than me and my rib and the things that we do. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying for this truth? Keep reading. Oh no, not that one. You can drop that one, shout out. Keep reading on 100. I understand more than the ancients.
I understand more than the ancients, because I keep thy precepts. Verse 101. I have refrained my feet from every evil way.
I have not gone any evil way. He's refrained from that. Right? And what are we talking about? How you walk. Walk in circumspect, according to the law. That it should be a light unto your feet. You understand what I'm saying? So right here, he just said, my feet. Keyword, my feet. I restrain my feet from every evil way. I'm not going those ways. You understand what I'm saying? Why? Because he wants to please the Most High. He wants to keep these precepts. He wants to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You could drop that one, and let me get Proverbs 30 and 5. I think that's. Go ahead, read it when you got it. Proverbs 30 and 5. We're just gonna bring out why keeping the law and letting it be a light unto you is so important, man. Because like what did who was it that said I believe it was I think it was Salakia. Was it Who said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death? Was that Jacob? Was that Jacob or was that Salakia? Salakia. I forget that one. I think, was that David or was that
It's in the Psalms.
it might be in Psalms. Salakia. You got that precept though?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, read.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 5. Every word of the Most High is pure.
Salakia. That was David. That was Salakia. I was getting that confused with Jacob actually wrestling with an angel in a valley. Salakia. Go ahead.
Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 5. Every word of the Most High is pure.
Every word of the Most High is what?
Pure.
Every word of the Most High is pure. Every word of this law, man, is pure. Keep going.
He is a shield unto them.
It is a what?
He is a shield unto them.
He is a shield unto them. What does a shield do?
Protect them.
Protect you. Right? This law is a shield, man. This law will keep you out of trouble. This law will keep you from losing your life.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of different weapon systems, right? You can go out there with a sword. You can go out there with a dagger. You can go out there with a broadsword. You know what I'm saying? A big old long sword. You got to wield with two hands. You can use a sword and a shield. You understand what I'm saying? That's something that Israel did rock with, was a sword and a shield. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, that's how we did combat. How do we know that this is a Hebrew thing? Because there's descriptions of war in the Bible, right?
Right.
Talk about when David went out to fight Goliath, right? And what did they give David? What was typical army apparel? Put heavy armor on him. They weighed a lot of talents. They gave him a shield. They gave him a sword. David was like, I feel you, but I'm light on my feet. If I'm going to do this, I got to do it my way. It's one of the Lord anointed. That's why he was able to do it like that. You understand what I'm saying? David had a weapon of choice because David was a good shepherd. He had killed lions and bears to protect his flock.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? He dealt with feral beasts to protect something that was precious to him. He was used to things. He was a killer. You understand what I'm saying? David was a cold-blooded killer. And can you imagine when you really think about it? What is a man, even if he a giant, a big ass stinking African? What is that to a brother that then slayed feral wild beasts in the field? That then got down with bears and killed them, that then got down with lions and protected little, lamb. You realize that, right? Like, sheep are food. Sheep are clothing. Sheep is not anywhere on the predator apex. You feel me? That is an animal that needs to be herded and watched over and protected. You understand what I'm saying? So that brother had to deal with predators to protect his prey. You understand what I'm saying? That brother did. So what was a giant really to that brother? You know what I'm saying? But, David went out there and he was fearless. You know what I'm saying? And he did that, man. He slayed that Hamite. You understand what I'm saying? When his king was scared, when Saul was scared, David wasn't. And David was not the tallest brother, because it even describes Saul. Saul was a tall brother. Saul was big. That brother was a big Benjamite. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That brother had stature. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a good character, how they described him, right? Like, he was a good kid. Everybody looked up to that brother. Everybody loved that brother. But that brother Saul was huge. And that's what they wanted. You understand what I'm saying? And even when they looked to see who would succeed? For who would succeed Saul,
Yeah.
right? When he came, He came to David's father, to Jesse. Who was that? Was that Samuel? Came to David's father, Jesse, was like, it's going to come from your bloodline. So bring all your sons, right?
Right.
What did Jesse do? He brought the ones that was in the military, the battle hardened ones, the seasoned men in his household. That's who he brought. But David was nice. David was young. David was handsome. Brother was a musician, played the guitar, shepherd. David wasn't wearing armor and all of that stuff, but he was a killer. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the one that the Lord chose. The one that they never seen coming. Because when the people picked, they picked the one that was the most glorious looking of them all, which was Saul. And that was a fail. He wasn't ready to follow the law to the letter. He wasn't ready to do it. Because when it came time to show and prove, that brother faulted. And I'm not speaking ill of Saul, but that's just the way it went down for that brother. That was still one of the Lord's elect. You know what I'm saying? That was still a great king in the history of Israel, but he fell short at the end. You understand what I'm saying? David, that brother was ready. That brother loved the law, and he loved the Lord, and he was ready to kill and die for it. Go ahead, shout it out.
And Saul leaned to his own understanding, and he consulted under witchcraft.
Yeah, that brother wild. That brother wild out, man.
He listened to like soothsayers, and he listened to like witchcraft to try to make his decisions. That's why he failed.
He listened to his own heart instead of doing what he was told to do.
Yeah. Yes, he did. And also with David's brothers were battle ready, but you could see it in their faces. Their countenance was warlike.
Right.
You could see like cuts on them.
Right.
You could see stuff where they've been punched,
right.
They've been hurt, they've been hit with stuff.
Broken nose, all of that. Right.
But they were still ready.
Right.
They were still ready. But the Lord picked David.
Right.
Because he was ready and he was young.
Right.
You know, and he was fearless too.
The Lord deal with your spirit, not your appearance.
And that's
you understand what I'm saying? That's how the Lord deal. Go ahead up.
But there's the one that said he hates those enemies with perfect hatred.
With a perfect hatred.
And he showed that because he didn't only kill Goliath with the stone, but he went and overkill on him to cut his head off afterwards.
Right.
So
that's
showing how much he hated those who stand against the Most High.
And then held it up to let them know what it really was.
Yes,
on both sides.
Right.
To let Israel know this is how you conduct business, and to let Ham know this is how we conduct business. Right. You understand what I'm saying? He made a double statement that day. You know what I'm saying? And he was righteous in doing that.
Yes, sir.
He was righteous in doing that, right? Because they were, I believe, because Saul was sore. It was low-key, not necessarily oppressing us, but that was like a war that we was not winning. You understand what I'm saying? And it was bloody on both sides. That's why they came up with that, hey, like bring out your champion, and we'll bring out our champion, because they knew they had that big nasty Hamite in the corner pocket, right? That was their champion. Who said, you bring out your champion, like let us in this. Nobody else got to die. We don't want to kill you so much that we have no slaves, right? We don't want to wipe all of y'all out and not have y'all women and y'all servants. We don't want to just raise y'all whole camp. So how about this? Y'all bring out y'all champion, and we'll bring out our champion, and whoever wins will serve the other. There you go. And they got more than they bargained for that day, dealing with the Lord and His elect. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Keep reading. Or that might be Salakia. Where we at on Proverbs 30 and 5?
Yes, sir.
Start from the top.
Proverbs 30 and 5. Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in Him. Verse 6. Add thou not unto His words.
Add thou not unto His words. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that the Lord wanted to say, He already said. Don't add to it. Don't put your spin on it. Don't put your twist on it. Don't put your your feeble interpretation on it. You understand what I'm saying? Learn this law. Learn how to teach this law and give it to the people raw and unadulterated. That's one of the mottos of the ISUPK. We don't give a damn about what you think. We speaking according to these words that the Most High gave us. We speaking according to this. What does it say? It's pure. We speaking to this pure word. That's what we speaking. When we tell you that that the most, I'm Salaki, when we tell you the Yahushua Mashiach or Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? When we tell you that Christ only came for his people, that he only died for a certain group of people, you don't give a damn how that make you feel. When we tell you boldly that the Most High only loves Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we don't give a damn how you feel. Yes, we understand that he created Edomites, but guess why he created Edomites? Guess why he created the whole world? To serve Israelites. That's why.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? He created them to be servants. Go ahead.
And the scripture about the precept from my brain says, he made up the world for our sake.
For our sake. Right. You understand what I'm saying? That's their purpose. Everything has its purpose. Your purpose is to be a light unto the world, to follow laws, statutes, and commandments, and serve the Most High. The rest of the world, their purpose is to serve you. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But that can't happen when you reject knowledge. The only thing that happens when you reject knowledge, when you reject the knowledge of the Most High, more importantly, is destruction. That's the only thing. Is woe unto them that do that. When you reject the Most High will reject you. You'll be given up to your enemies. You understand what I'm saying? That's why Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians are in the condition that they are in today. That's why. Right?
Right.
Black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian people, man, spend so much time living a life wondering why certain things has happened to them. I know, like, I mean, in the hood, like, one of the biggest things, you know, is like, if it's really a God, why is it going down for us like this? Like, why the good die young? Why do these things happen? Man, listen, once you start learning the law, you start learning the truth, you get some wisdom and knowledge and understanding, you'll understand why these things is happening to you. Then you'll start learning how to change so that it don't happen to you. You understand what I'm saying? Hey man, I could be wrong. I'm not prophesying anything here, but I'm telling you my honest opinion. If 100% of Israel follow law, statutes, and commandments for a year, I feel like the Lord might just come back.
Right.
I feel like the Lord might just have enough mercy and just come back. But like I said, 100% of Israel.
Right.
If all of Israel ate lawfully, if all of Israel paid their tithes, if all of Israel followed law, statutes, and commandments, if all of Israel stopped fornicating, if all of Israel stopped being whores and adulterers and pimps and witches and selling drugs, if all of Israel stopped doing that for a year and repented, you feel me? He stalled out Nineveh. He stalled Nineveh out. You understand what I'm saying? Because they all repented. The king was so cold, he made the animals repent. You know what I'm saying? It was certain things like, hey man, I don't even want to see dogs walking on grass. Keep the dog in your house. Everybody wear sackcloth. I don't want to see any of that. Everybody stay in the house. Everybody repent. Everybody wear this sackcloth. Everybody do what this prophet just told y'all to do, that you be spared. You understand what I'm saying? I forget what it was, but it was something crazy. Something about like how the cows couldn't graze. There was something that the animals couldn't even do. That's how serious it was in Nineveh. Like even the animals had restrictions. Telling them what was going to happen, they believed. Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians today, unfortunately, don't believe. This is the problem because they don't know the scripture. How it says, the Lord is not slack as men count them to be slack. The Lord ain't slack the way men think that he's slack. They think that because, yeah, I slept with this brother's wife, and then I got up in the morning, and I had a nice meal, right? And then I slept with my wife, and everything was okay. Because of that, it's cool. Lord ain't paying no attention to that. Yeah, I'm an adulterer, but it really don't matter. I'll make it even more simple. Because I've been smoking weed for the last 10 years and I still don't got cancer. Yeah. Lord ain't worried about that. Because I hit a different hole every night and I don't got an STD. Lord ain't worried about that. Because I've been on the grind selling dope for the last 10 years. And I ain't been to jail or even shot at. Lord ain't worried about that. I'm living life. Lord know how I feel. Lord know why I'm doing this. You know, dope heads. The Lord want me to smoke this weed. That's why he put it in. I'm supposed to be smoking this. My life is hard. That shit is weed. Salaki. Good.
It's like, it makes so much sense what you're saying. So heavy. It's really super heavy because Christians think the same damn way.
Oh,
the
they
Lord knows my mind. You know,
Right.
you're acting like the Lord is following after you or something.
Right.
The Lord is looking up under your stuff. You make a mistake, let me go do and serve you and make sure that I know your mind so that I can make sure I forgive you.
Right.
The Lord is not a respecter of people.
Right.
The Lord is the Most High God. Man. Come on.
Right.
He knows my mind. But Christians will tell you that in it. He knows my mind, so if I made a mistake, oh, so be it. So what? You know, he's going to correct it for me anyway if I just say, I want to be forgiven for it. But you knew already that you wasn't supposed to do it. You knew already you wasn't supposed to do it.
Right.
So with the commandments, we know the commandments, we better do them.
Right.
The Christians don't want to do nothing. The Lord knows my mind. Come on, please.
Right. And I got one even colder than that. The Most High created everything, right? And so he also created Satan. That's another one of the Most High's creations. Is that spirit, right?
Right.
So what does that mean? Satan reports to the Most High. The Most High don't report to Satan. How do we know that? Because when the Most High calls Satan to give a report, he said, "What have you been doing?" It ain't like Satan went up there and was like, "Hey God, what are you doing that I obviously don't know about?" Nah, man. The Most High said, "What have you been doing?" And Satan replied, going to and fro, going throughout the earth, doing what you pretty much created me to do anyways. Listen, and I think Captain McQuarrie brought it out. You know what Satan's job is? I'm pretty sure, yeah, Captain McQuarrie said this. You know what Satan's job is? Is to make sure that don't no punks make it into the kingdom.
That's right.
That's Satan's job.
Right.
So like it for my English, but to make sure that there's no bitch-made Negroes in the kingdom. No weakness in the kingdom. You understand what I'm saying? That's the job. You're going to be tried. You're going to be judged. But it's better to be tried and fail and judged and then stay in the truth and pick yourself back up and carry on than to fall on your damn sword and fall out the truth.
Right.
That's the most shameful thing you can do, is to fall on your sword. To fall out because your shame has covered you so heavily, or because your insecurities then got the better of you. Hey man, listen, we all go through it. That's what prayer is. You're going to be weak. Be weak in front of the Lord. Pray to him. Cry out to him. Seek that forgiveness. And confess your sins among men. Confess your sins. You feel me? That's good for your spirit to do that. That's good for you. So that don't eat you up inside and prevent you from doing the work of the Lord. Because when you keep that bottled up, when you let that shame cover you for so long, when you let your sin stay on you and you don't confess it, right? Man, I'm telling you, it's better to sin. Get judged first off, Salakia. Don't sin. Just don't do it. The Most High, Christ showed you how to not do that. But should you become weak and do that, don't let it consume you, because that's Satan. Don't let it start making you insecure and having regrets and doubting yourself. Listen, I'm not saying that you should not feel remorse and feel convicted when you do wrong, right? But what I am saying is, don't wallow in it. Don't lay with it. Don't sleep with it. Don't live with it. accept your judgment the same way that David say, um, against you and only you, Lord, have I sinned. Like, I rejoice when I hear the breaking of my bones, like I'm paraphrasing, but he's saying like to know that when he says the breaking of his bones, meaning he's going through judgment. He's going through a hard time now because of what he's done. But hearing that, knowing that he's going through that, he can rejoice in that because he knows that his creator loves him enough to reprimand him for what he's done. Because see, when you get in judge, when you catching a judgment for what you've done, that means you now have an opportunity to be right after you paid that. But you paid your debt to the Most High, now you can be perfect again. Now you can be clean again. Now you can carry on. So who does that? Ain't nobody gonna walk in the store, pay for a shopping cart full of stuff and leave the shopping cart. You paid for it. It's a wrap. That transaction is finished. You feel me? So with that being said, don't allow those things. Yeah, you may have shame for a time. You may feel covered with that shame for a time. But when it's a wrap, it's a wrap. Don't wallow in that, man. I'm kind of getting off base, but that's important. Don't wallow in that shame. Don't allow yourself to constantly relive that sin after you've already acknowledged it, confessed it, paid for it, paid judgment for it. Don't stay with that, man, because that is going to affect your ability to serve the Most High. That's why you don't do that.
That's right.
Like Jeremiah Hyman taught me that.
Right.
What you gonna say? Oh, this truth is so glorious, and the school is so glorious and so miraculous that a sinner like me just can't be here in these ranks. And then what? Your ass fall off? You fall on your sword? You give up? To hell with that. We just lost a soldier off that. And that's Satan. Don't do that, man. You understand what I'm saying? Ingrain these laws and statutes and commandments inside of yourself so that you know how to live, so that you can identify these things. That you say, like, you know what? Me doubting myself is not me. This is Satan. I'm stronger than this. I'm not going to doubt myself. It's better to hear my bones breaking than to catch this judgment and to carry on in the truth than to give up. Don't give up.
Right.
Never give up. The Lord requires you to be a winner, not a loser, man. You understand what I'm saying? The Lord chose a nation of people to be winners. All of us. Not to be losers. You know, shut her up.
Yeah, I think there was one precept was talking about the talents that the Most High gave these certain servants. And one of the talents that he gave them one. And the servant said, I took your talent, Lord, and I put it in the ground because I know you a hard man. And I just left it there. You didn't get no more talents. But the other servants got 15 and gained 5. The other one got 5 and gained 1. And the Lord blessed those two because they increased. They did something. But the other one buried the damn talent and didn't do a damn thing. The Lord said, he said, be gone, O cursed servant.
You wicked servant.
You wicked servant.
He said, and he told him, he said, he said, so why are you telling me this? You knew I was a hard man.
Yeah.
You knew I was a hard man. You knew that I reaped what I didn't sow. You know who I am. Then why in the hell did you do that? Why would you do that? I told you to go do a thing, to go give me some usury, to bring that back with interest.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? To grow.
Right.
That's what I gave you that for. To take that talent and to use it. I told you to use it. Hell, you could have lost it. But come back and give me that report that you used it. I'll decide if I want to give you another talent. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But he was so damn wicked and so damn cowardly that he buried the talent instead of doing what his master told him to do. Do what the Lord tells you to do. It's simple. It's these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what the Lord wants you to do. And his commandments are not grievous. They're not grievous. You cannot put unlawful food in your mouth. You can keep your mind and your hands off your brother's wife. You can keep tobacco products and marijuana from off your lips. You can say, my son needs shoes. I'm not about to go get some coke. You can say, I'm not going to sell my brother's drugs. And even more so than that, I'm not going to allow it to be in my community. I'm not going to be a coward and just watch it all go down. I'm going to serve the Lord, and I'm going to teach and preach against these things.
Right.
And I'm going to do it diligently and tirelessly until my people wake the hell up.
That's right.
That's what you can do. They're not grievous.
Right.
I mean, God, man, some of these things that Black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian people do, I mean, damn, man, like sometimes we go out of our way to sin against the Lord. Because certain things just, I don't care, like we don't really deal with feelings and emotions, but some things just don't feel right. You got to go against the grain to get that done. You got to have a low moral compass. You understand what I'm saying? The only reason, listen, how they say practice make perfect. If you practice sin, you'll be perfect in sin. And then you'll eventually die. If you practice these laws, statutes, and commandments, how David said he meditated on that.
Right.
It was a light to his feet. And it's what he thought about all day, every day. Then you'll become perfect at that. Right? Listen, and even more so than that, the law is not for the righteous, the law is for the wicked. That's why we teach the law. We teach the law so that you learn how to stop being a drug addict. So that you can learn how to keep your hands off women. Stop hitting these women. Women, stop hitting these damn men, knowing damn well they're going to put your head through the wall. Stop doing that. Y'all going to eventually kill somebody. Either she going to get fed up and she going to kill him, or he going to misstep and he going to kill that sister. General Muhammad brought that out, man. Like, if you got to hit this woman and cuss this woman and constantly, and I'm not talking about checking your rib, I'm talking about berating her and belittling her and coming at her with things that have no standing, right? There's a such thing as your woman making a mistake and you be like, hey, you can't do that. Don't do that. And then just coming in the house because you pissed off about something and putting your hands on this woman and hurting her. That's wicked, man. That's wicked. So if you that type of brother that do those type of things, you don't have no type of control over that woman. That woman isn't obedient to you. She's just scared. You understand what I'm saying? And you shouldn't be that way with each other. That's unbrotherly. That's unsisterly. That is not according to the law, right? The scriptures say when a man findeth a wife, he gaineth a possession. You got to take care of that thing, man.
Right.
You got to take care of her.
That's right.
The same way you would do with a prized possession or a trophy. You polish her. You keep her clean.
Right.
She's a reflection of you. She signifies your accomplishments, good things that you've done.
Right.
You feel me? You got to be mindful of the way you conduct yourself as an Israelite because the Lord demands it. The Lord demands it. That's a commandment. You have to follow law, statutes, and commandments. You have to do it. And it ain't that hard to do because you quick to like, hey, let Esau tell you it's lawful to smoke weed. You quick to do that. You'll follow Esau's law, but you won't follow the Lord's law. You got to be better than that.
That's right.
You have some shout out?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, if you got to go extreme with your rib all the time, going to the extreme, like y'all knocking out windows,
right,
and just arguing and trying to hurt each other, just doing all kind of stupid stuff like that,
right,
then that may not be your rib.
Right.
That ain't your rib.
Right.
You better let it go.
Right.
We said we find a wife, we find a treasure, we find a possession, a treasure. and she's to be my pillar of rest,
Right.
you know, and I'm supposed to treat her like I treat my own flesh. So that's an agreement. But if you got to go to that other stuff, then something's super wrong.
Right. What's that precept say? A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
A wicked count,
Or is it the other way? Yeah.
Wicked woman. Yeah.
Hey man, listen, listen. Don't be confounded as to why your life ain't right. Don't be like, why does things just keep going for me like this, like some simp. Don't do that, man. It's because of you. You the reason that your shit is going south. It's you. Because you're disobedient and you wicked. Trials is gonna come, but God forbid, who wants to just live a life filled with judgments, just negative judgments that's not in your favor? I want to catch some, man, in Esau's court system, there's what? There's a plaintiff and a defendant. I'm trying to have the judgment found in my favor, right? Like when Judge Joe Brown is giving somebody, I want the judgment to be in my favor. I don't want the adverse side of it. Righteous servants get righteous judgments. Wicked servants get hellish judgments. Sometimes it's death, sometimes it's sickness, sometimes it's just, listen, you get that slow death sentence because you just constantly stressed out about things in your mind, like you just constantly going through it. You don't know nowhere to find no strength. There's zero light at the end of the tunnel for you. There's no hope. You just live in a hopeless life because you choose to be disobedient. You have no light. So your footsteps is unguided. Go ahead, Shadrach.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and verse 23.
Is that the wicked man?
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man,
Right.
but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
Simple. The priest is going to get a righteous woman. He's going to know how to pick his woman. You understand what I'm saying? A wicked bastard is going to get a wicked ass woman. Don't. I mean, right? Shadrach is simple. Like
Damn
you,
right.
you selling dope in the street. You killing your brothers and sisters. You doing all of this nonsense, and now you want to go upside this trick's head because you found out that she cheating on you. You met her in the strip club. Of course, she's doing that. Don't be confounded.
Yeah.
Go ahead, shut up.
You know, in my life, I met a woman while I was smoking cocaine.
Right.
Matter of fact, I was looking to buy some cocaine, and I found her. They said that she the one that know who sell the shit.
That's cold.
And then she ended up being my woman at the time. I wasn't the truth.
Right.
At that time, we ended up smoking and doing all crazy stuff. All crazy shit happened. I went to jail, and I came out, found out she got robbed. I had to go fight this dude, beat him up, and do this other stuff. I beat up some other dude. And it just, after everything, I ended up facing 8 years in prison.
And did that relationship last?
Hell no. I left, and you know what? I cut it off with her because I found out that I can't stay and have a relationship because I'm just not getting off of drugs. I don't even know who the hell I am.
Right.
You know? But she couldn't take that, and she couldn't realize that she had to wait. So she left.
Right.
And I said, well, I guess Lord be with you.
Right.
You know? And I left her. But that's a wicked woman.
Right.
You know? It would have never worked out.
When you walk in the counsel of the ungodly, that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get. That's why the scripture tells you to do the opposite. Walk not in the counsel of the ungodly. Don't listen to the nonsense that people who are unstudied and don't have the light in them, that don't have laws, statutes, and commandments that they follow. Don't walk with them. Because when you walk with them, you're going to go down the same path of destruction.
Right.
That's why Christ said, no, if the world hates you, they hated me first. The world gonna hate you when you follow law, statutes, and commandments. The world gonna hate a priest.
Right.
Because when you come up questioning the priests and the prophets of the Most High out there at camp, and you a brother, and we tell you that you're with a dog, you married outside of your nation. When we tell you that sex is marriage and now you got to keep her, now you married to a dog, you're going to hate that. You're not going to hear that. You're going to hate that. You're going to hate me for telling you that. But I'm telling you the truth. I'm
Right.
telling you the truth according to the Bible, not my words.
Right.
In the world, I've always loved black and Mexican women. But I thought be with whoever you want to be. Because I was in the world. Then when I came into wisdom and knowledge understanding, through the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, then I understand, oh, you can't be with whoever you want to be with. Because the scripture that I believe every single word of says, give not your sons into their daughters, and give not your daughters unto their sons. Why?
Right.
Because when you do that, your sons will start following those women's customs, and vice versa. When you give your daughters off to their sons, they'll start following their customs. And you won't even recognize your child no more.
Right.
That's why. I forget what it was. The prophet came into the town, and it was so mixed that the children couldn't even speak the Hebrew, but was speaking different foreign dialects. Wherever the prophet had went into, I don't want to say it was Elijah, but I know this brother came into this town, and it pissed him off because he's seeing these little Hebrew babies run around, and they don't even speak Hebrew. They speak in the tongue of their foreign mothers and fathers. That's the way that it always is with Israel. It's always like that. That's why the Lord told us to separate from them. The Lord knows that we are happiest with each other. He knows this for us. But because we're so damn disobedient, we want to join with everybody else and wonder why our life is in a hellish condition. Wonder why these people that we try to love constantly turn their back on us or backstab us. You understand what I'm saying? And for some reason, I mean, we just never get it. We never get it. I didn't get it until I got in the ISUPK. Then I understood. Like, oh yes, this is why I should separate. This is why I should not trust these people as far as I could throw them. I shouldn't trust them at all. Because this is what they will always do. I got enough of that in my own nation of things I got to look out for. Not here in the ISUPK, but just Jake in the world. You understand what I'm saying? I got to keep my guard up for that. I'm not letting nobody else in. I'm not doing it. Not no other nation. Now, my nation, yes, I will teach you these laws, statutes, and commandments. I will show you how to live, how to conduct your life, show you how to be a strong husband for your wife, show you how to raise your children, show you how to endure, show you what the natural use of a woman is, show a sister what the natural use of a man is, that she should lean on him for her understanding and count on him and serve him. You understand what I'm saying? I can teach you and show you scripturally how to do that. Now, if you don't have the spirit to receive it, that's Most High Christ. Lord be with you. But if you do, I can tell you where to go and I can show you how to do it. You understand what I'm saying? That's my job as a prophet and priest in this truth. Go ahead, shout it out.
And you know what you're saying about strange women and all that is so prevalent to the Bible. It's crazy. You know, it's in the book of Ezra, chapter 9, and I believe it's verse 6. And all the multitude sat trembling in the broad court of the temple because of present foul weather. In verse 7, so Ezra arose and said unto them, ye have transgressed the law. That means you broke the law. In marrying strange wives. thereby to increase the sins of Israel. Our sins was increased a long time ago,
Right.
you know?
And look, I mean, come on, man. Like, listen. Salakia, Jacob married who? Leah and Rachel, right?
Yeah.
That's the father of Israel.
Yeah.
That's the greatness of it. That's the father of Israel, right? Abraham has Sarah. Who did he have with Sarah? The father of Israel. Who did he have with that Hamite woman, Hagar? A nation that was rejected by the Most High. I'm gonna keep going.
Oh, that's right.
Samson with that Canaanite Delilah. What
Right.
happened there? Brother died because of that.
That's right.
That brother died because of that. He was tortured because of that.
That's right. Right.
He lost his life behind that woman. You understand what I'm saying?
That's
Even with the great king that Solomon was, where did the fall off come at? At the end. When he started building idols to these strange women. Idols from these strange women's gods. Yeah, it's cool. This the temple. Keep in mind that brother was in the temple. The temple that he built, that was the holiest of holies.
right.
You allowed these women to profane that by erecting idols to their gods for them, to please these women. Oh yeah, baby, I know, it's like 600-700 of y'all. I can only see you so many times a year, but I'll build this for you. I love you so much. Weak. And you see, that was the downfall. Because what happened after that? When that brother's next son came into succession, it caused a split in Israel. Because instead of keeping his foot on his son's neck, which one was it? Was it Jeroboam?
Rehoboam.
Rehoboam was his son, right? I believe that was Solomon's son.
Wait, Solomon's son. So like that.
Because I think one of them was like an Ephraimite, like his son's best friend was like an Ephraimite or something like that.
Or we even have not Abishai.
No, it was Jeroboam and Rehoboam or something like that. And I know that one of them was Solomon's son. That brother was about to take over, right? And he let his homeboy get in his ear. And the king, instead of being wise, instead of his father being on him, teaching him right, he was busy being weak unto women. And then it eventually caused a split in the kingdom. Because that's when you get the north and the south, after the death of Solomon. Solomon passed away, his son take over, his son ain't necessarily built for that, and that's how you get the split between the north and the southern kingdom. Right? And if you read it, I'm not going into I'm not adding nothing to it, but like if you just read it from a real, I mean it's actually a great movie. Like when you read it from a certain perspective, it's kind of like a little bit of like intrigue and espionage, the way it kind of work out, because it's like this brother about to take over, and the men that served under Solomon directly was telling this brother, your father, you know what I'm saying, was a hard man to please, but he was glorious and the Lord was with him and he did everything right, you feel me, in his rulership. And because of that, the people worked real hard for him to build all of this. He said, and these people will serve you and love you too if you make the burden a little bit easier, because, you know, they done built the temple. A lot of work went into building that. Remember, David was told that he wasn't going to get to build the Lord's temple. It was going to be Solomon. Solomon built it. A lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears went into building that. That was a glorious structure. You understand what I'm saying? World renowned. Other nations came from around the world to see it. That's why Bathsheba was there. Because the whole world had heard about the glory of King Solomon and Israel. People of God. The whole world had heard about that. So that was a glorious structure. It wasn't built in a day, though. That was built over many years and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And who did that? But the servants of Solomon, his people, in his kingdom. And that brother cracked that whip and got that done. And so the people remembered a lot of years of hard labor. You understand what I'm saying? They worked a lot of overtime, if you will. And since that was completed, they said, we understand why Solomon had to do this, but it is built now, and you coming in, we will continue to serve you. But please make the burden a little, just have mercy on us. Please make the burden a little bit easier. But his brother was young and full of his ego and had his homie in his ear. And you know what he said? You think that my father worked you? I'm going to work you 10 times as hard. And that vexed the people. You understand what I'm saying? And that vexed the people. I went a little bit off, but my thing is that Solomon letting strange women in was a detriment to Israel. That was to the detriment of Israel. And if you look at it, every brother that you know, even Moses, we know Moses had a Canaanite wife, he had an Egyptian wife, right? And the Lord was with that brother, and Aaron and his sister tried to check him about that, and they was not authorized to do that, right? I think the sister became like a leper for a certain amount of days and had to be put outside of the camp, you know what I'm saying, for a certain amount of days. And like Aaron seen it and just was like, oh my God, like that sister normally was the cut was Salakia. That sister was like the color of Sawat. You feel me? And by the time Aaron looked at his sister, she looked like an albino. That sister went from black to literally white as paper in an instant. And it scared him. And he cried out like, please forgive her. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, every brother that ends up with these strange women is to the detriment of either that brother or the entire nation. Even more than that, I got you right now, Shadarab. Even more than that, what's that precept where that brother, they was just speaking out about bringing about strange women, and then the brother brought the heathen woman to the Passover. They was at the Passover, and that brother brought the heathen woman to the Passover, and it vexed another brother, and he like threw the spear and like killed him.
I remember that one, but I got a precept.
Go ahead.
First Ezra chapter 9 and verse 4. Salaki. Hold on. Verse 6. And all the multitude sat trembling in the broad court of the temple because of the present foul weather. Verse 7. So Esdras arose up and said unto them, Ye have transgressed the law in marrying strange wives, thereby to increase the sins of Israel. Verse 8. And now, by confessing, give glory unto the Most High God of our fathers. Verse 9. And do his will, and separate yourselves from the heathen of the land and from the strange women.
Hey, that right there. That there. Hey, I bring one even closer to home. That brother, Sugar Shane Mosley.
Man.
Right?
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
That's an Israelite with a heathen woman. And look what happened. His wife Korea, his ex-wife now. But she went in on this brother so hard, she taking half of all his money, half of all his guap, but then get this though. This bride ain't never put the gloves on a day in her life. Ain't never put the gloves on a day in her life. And I believe she even want like half of the proceeds from the fights that he fought in, like the money that he generate. Like she want like trophies and medals and other stuff that this brother had accumulated over his fight career, like personal things, like mementos. Like she want to take those too, like the hat. Like she want half his bread. She want the alimony, right? So you already getting half the bread, but it don't even stop there. She want half the bread, and then she want to get paid every month. And then she want half the rights to this brother's DVDs of all these star-studded fights that he fought in. Am I right? So I'm like, this brother done fought, like, this brother's one of the greats because he done fought some of the greats. Like, he done fought your Miguel Cottos and all of them type of brothers. Like, he done fought world-class fighters. Like Sugar Shane done made a career off fighting real people, not no paper champions.
That's right.
Like, he fought some hard fights. That brother fought some hard fights. She want the accolades to that too. She want credit for that too. Now, I'm telling every sister in Israel, never do that. Just call General Muhammad and get some counsel. Don't let it go that far. You can't get divorces, Israel. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to work it out. Y'all got to stay together. But when it comes to certain intellectual properties, I might understand. Couple started with some real good ideas. You know, I came up with the idea for that, but this devil, like, she ain't never even been in the ring. She just been ringside while this brother was getting blood knocked out of his mouth. Man. And you want the proceeds to this brother's fights? Be serious, man. Be serious. But that's what being, and listen, because I brought it out earlier. The Lord is not slack how men count him slack. You married that heathen woman and you thought it was cool, and now all of these years later, she getting you for everything you worth. That's a hell of a judgment, man. That's a hell of a judgment. And don't nothing on this planet move without the authorization of the Most High. So that's a spirit that was put on her. And the Lord let that spirit be put on her. And he let it move that way. Because that's that brother's judgment for marrying a strange woman. Everybody loved Kobe Bryant. What was the one time he ridiculed? With that heathen woman. And then she got found out to be a nasty, disgusting dog when her sexual past got brought to light and what she had did hours before even being with Kobe. But that's not even the point. That's not even the point. It's just when you lay down with a dog, you'll get ousted. Everybody will know. His brother sleeps with strange beasts. Don't do that, man. Listen, you might already have a hard life, but if you follow law, statutes, and commandments, man, this is my point. If you follow law, statutes, and commandments, there's a whole lot of things that won't happen. There's a whole lot of things that's already going to happen to you. You're going to deal with financial burdens. I mean, you black Hispanic in this country, you're going to deal with financial burdens. You're going to deal with all the social injustices. You're going to deal with just that feeling of being oppressed and suppressed, right? Because even when you get some money, right, Shadrach, even when you get some bread and you don't feel like you're oppressed, you're still suppressed.
Right.
Can't say what you want to say. Look at what happened to Nick Cannon. Can't say what you want to say. Look at what happened to Steven Jackson. Look at what happened to Deshaun Jackson. Can't say what you want to say. You know who knew that real good on some Uncle Tom? Michael Jordan. He knew that you couldn't say whatever the hell you want to say. He's going to take all your money from you. And then you'll just be another nigga that know how to play basketball. You understand what I'm saying? That's why the scriptures say, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. That gift that they get in, brothers, it destroys their heart, and then they lose sight. And then if they regain sight and speak out against their oppressors are real quick to remind them, hey, nigga, don't bite the hand that feeds you.
That's right.
I'll take all this shit. You understand what I'm saying? That's how they get down. Go ahead.
When President Trump said that thing, he said, if you keep talking about this and that, you're going to repeat slavery. I'm not saying it right. Remember that? President Trump said, if you keep pushing the baggage, you're gonna go back.
Oh, the dead.
doing
Yup, it's gonna
slavery all
remember
over
slavery again. Yup, he sure did. Salaki, he sure did say that. He sure did say that. He sure did say that. Like it's gonna. He said something to the effect like it's gonna be like slavery all over again or something like that. He sure did say something like that. Go ahead.
If you can't remember the past, then you doomed to go back into.
Then you go doomed to go back into slavery. So what is so what is that saying? Nigga, you better remember them whips. Cause you keep getting out of pocket with all these protests and carrying on. I'm gonna have your ass strapped back up to that tree. That's what that meant.
Right.
That's a very political way of saying, nigga, you better remember.
Right.
I
Right.
don't think that I won't. You better remember. Go ahead.
And it's like that's why usually when I talk about Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old.
Right.
Consider thou many generations.
Right.
Ask thy fathers, and he will tell thee when the Lord separated the sons of Adam. We're supposed to consider the past.
Right.
As Israelites, we never, ever supposed to forget history.
Right.
Because that's what he's actually telling you in essence.
Right.
If you don't remember that you was a slave, we're going to put you back in slavery.
And then what's so cold about that, they also tell you to forget it.
Exactly.
Why do you want to carry on with that? Like, that's over. That already happened. You should forget. Okay, cool. I'll forget it. Why you won't forget the Alamo, though? Why you won't forget 9/11? Why you won't forget that?
Huh.
This the cold thing, though. We didn't do nothing but build this damn country for you. Right? And you killing us in the street. And I brought this out in another class. I said it before. I'm going to keep saying it, though. Why they not killing Arabs? Why they not killing Arabs? So you can kill niggas. That's not a hate crime. But if you go bomb a mosque or something, that's a hate crime. Listen, what's that little white boy's name? Dylan Caruth? Dylan Roof. He didn't go up in no damn Islamic mosque and kill a whole bunch of Arabs for 9/11. He went to a goddamn Christian church and killed a bunch of Negroes, so-called Negroes. He killed a bunch of Israelites. That's what he did.
Right.
And then said that that's what he planned to do. I went into the black church because I knew it'd be black people there and I wanted to kill them.
Right.
That's what he did. Just like that white boy that went up in that Walmart in Texas, in the town where it's predominantly Hispanic, and shot him up. He knew what he was doing.
That's right.
He knew what he was doing. Dylan Roof knew what the hell he was doing. You understand what I'm saying? George Zimmerman knew what he was doing.
That's right.
Man, it could have been a little white boy out there walking in the same neighborhood George Zimmerman was in with a pookie, walking down the street freebasing. He would not got shot. He could have pulled a gun out on George Zimmerman. And they would have just had a Mexican standoff until the cops got there.
Right.
When nobody got shot. Or George would have shot his ass in the leg. Where'd Tamir get hit? Like in the back or something like that? Come on, man. Was he trying to get away, Shadowrock, or did he know he had his hands up?
Yeah. Right.
Come on, man. That's how they do us, though. That's how they do this. My rib is excellent at sending me current events because I'm horrible. I'm horrible. You understand what I'm saying? Like I'll check my Facebook. I'll go to the YouTube, watch the grill, things like that. That's how I used to keep up on current events. I'm not gonna lie, Salaki, I need to get better. I'm horrible at current events, right? I do put the news notifications on my phone now so that I can be more relevant. But my rib is excellent with the relevant current events that pertain to Israel and then also pertain to how they do us versus how they get down, right? And she sent me this story. What did that Edomite do? Then he get into then he shoot at cops and kill one of them. And yeah, this Edomite shot at the cops, killed one of them, wounded a couple of them, and still got hauled off like alive. He lived. Did he shoot one of them?
He struck him.
Okay, he might not kill one, but he wounded one of them. He shot us. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. They took him peacefully.
Yeah.
They took him peacefully.
Right.
That's my whole point. I mean, I know we done all seen that video where that Edomite beat up the male cop and the lady cop, pull one of their guns, shoot at them, get in their police cruiser, and drive off. And then he got apprehended peacefully. Come on, man. Tamir Rice got killed with candy in his hand, man. You know what I'm saying, though?
Right.
That's why we have to separate from these people. That's why we have to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why we have to. We have to do it.
Right.
We have to do that, man. Because when we don't obey the Most High, it's nothing that lays in our way except for destruction. Go ahead, I'm about to end the class.
You know, even in the Bible tells us, man, every time that we obey the Most High, He killed our enemies for us.
Right.
He killed them for us.
Right.
But every time that we disobeyed Him, He never was with us, and He let us go into captivity. That's why we're in captivity. That's why we're coming from captivity, because we didn't obey Him. Even Holofernes in the Apocrypha told them, before they even went to war with Israel, he told that heathen king, he said, these people, if their God is for them, then you won't win.
Right.
He said, but if they do evil in the sight of their own God, then we can go and start war with them and we'll be victorious.
Right. And that's how unfortunately, Salakia, that's how it always is. That's how it always is in Israel. When we obedient, we enjoy times of prosperity and glory worldwide. But when we transgress the laws of the Most High, we go into captivity. It's real cut and dry for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, David went through some hard times, but it wasn't like no captivity that we can speak of today. Not like it is today. Not like how it was when we was disobedient and we went into captivity in the Egyptian period, or even in the Assyrian period. Like, those were major captivities, lasted hundreds of years. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's why it's imperative that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians recognize that we recognize those things, that we pay attention. You understand what I'm saying? Like how you said, Shadawat, never forget that history. Because if you can remember where you came from, man, it's easier to plot out where you need to go. When we can see clearly, we transgress the law of the Most High, we run into destruction and folly. When we serve the Most High earnestly and follow law, statutes, and commandments, it's a light to our feet, and we end up running the whole damn world.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why it is so important for us to do these classes, but also for those people watching to get into these classes. Listen, it's cool doing online classes, Most High in Christ, but if you can make it, you understand what I'm saying? Bus, train, automobile, right? That's why we put the numbers out there. That's why we had the contact information out there. Get in contact with a specific school camp leader. He'll arrange transportation for you to actually get up in class, right? Because you want to be in the spirit of brotherhood. You want to get in these classes. Listen,
That's right.
if you can't make it, Most High in Christ, I tell you straight up, watch these classes. But if you can make it to these classes, come to these classes, man, so you can really get a taste of the kingdom and learn how to serve your Lord. And with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shadrach. And you can just yeah, just do a security announcement before you get up out of here. I ran like way over. And you spelled mine as security.
Okay. Security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West Harlem, New York. Rule for a new sister or brother. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are to
follow the rules of the school, man. Follow the rules of the school. Like we just talked about, this is law class. Like we just talked about why we should follow the law. There are rules that the generals have devised that they should be followed to the T, because they will prevent you from a lot of stress and undue hardship in your life. Follow the rules, man. Salaki, I just want to make that clear. Like, follow the rules of the school, man.
When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew ma'ishra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Fund Department or teacher. Priest Fund, free will offering for priests. It's not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upholding holy convocations. What we got?
I think, what is it? Is it first fruits? Salaki, is it on the board?
Salaki. It's not a talk. Is
or
it
tabernacles? Is it the
right,
tabernacles?
Upholding holy convocation is tabernacles. Remind Akim and Aquaf to check the bulletin board. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, men of Israel, Amijah, stand up. Stay there. We'll give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amijah Shabbat, Amijah, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Barak Atah.
Yahweh Hashem Shabbat.
Men of Israel, Sar, face the sisters. Men of Israel, Amijah Shabbat, Amijah, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Atah Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahya Watat, Yahya Matat, Salaki, dismiss.
No.
I'm gonna start getting
Yeah, son. Put my stuff up.